What's happening, Vault Hunters and fantasy fans? We are running into a sign. We are back in Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. We're just going back to the, I want to say Moonvale. So many times I want to say Moonvale. The Dreamvale Overlook. This is the DLC area for the game where you access the DLC, what is considered the season pass for Wonderlands. And we are working through the tier 2 difficulty of the encounters that are available here in what's called the Mirrors of Mystery. So we have these 4 mirrors, which are 4 different series of encounters and then a boss at the end. And there's 4 different tiers of difficulty for each of these. And they're meant to get a little bit harder. And the boss always changes, gets new mechanics. So we've done the tier 2 of the Coiled Captors, which is the first one. The Glutton's Gamble, second one. And today we're going into MOLTON Mirrors, which is the third one. As a little additional, right, so Defense Mechanist. And we want to use melee to land a killing blow on 10 enemies in a room. We haven't had that yet as an option, or I just didn't notice it, which is a very valid possible thing. But in the last one of these we were complaining about this, so that's pretty interesting that we finally got something a little bit different.
Self-reflection is
Has a little bit of a difference in this as well. I'm currently working through the gear that I've collected, and I'm trying to refamiliarize myself with where things are in terms of what kit is valuable. I haven't played this game that much since about a year ago, which was before a lot of this content came out. I'm going to put my filthy hands all over your cannons. You can't stop me. And so today, in the interest of trying to get to grips with what bits of gear I have are good, because metas change, things get rebalanced, all the rest of it, I'm finding out that the gear that I was running by default, it seemed like it wasn't performing as well as I would have liked. So I'm now going through basically all of my guns, just retrying them, getting a feel for what each of them does, and trying to find out what are the strongest bits of kit I have, what are the most interesting bits of kit I have, and yeah, just getting myself up to speed pretty much. So today we are running shotguns. Did I already say that? We're running shotguns. Going to see if we can do pretty much the whole thing with shotguns. I've got 5 or 6 shotguns that I've just grabbed out of my storage, and ones that I had on me already, and we're just going to see if we can get some idea of what is good and what is not. But we also have this additional challenge. I didn't read that thing properly, did I? I thought I just had to melee finish enemies. Now I'm questioning my sanity. What was the... What was it meant to be? Yeah, we're not going to worry about that side objective. That'll teach me to not pay attention. It won't. I just don't pay attention. So, that's a Monkey Island reference. Is that my weapon that's saying that? I'm getting a little bit confused now. Or is that something else I've got on? Ah, it's probably the wit. So, I've been doing a little bit of changing on some of my other gear as well. I've got some items here that I think are meant to help a little bit out with DPS. Trying to up my output. Pretty happy just to do this as a glass cannon, so anything that's going to up my output, I'm looking to experiment with that, and then I'll worry about staying alive later.
Now to break the ones wrapped around the lost souls in this prison.
That's gonna cost you an arm and a leg. Now come here.
I'm going to keep meleeing these guys until I figure out what's going on, which isn't going to happen, to be honest. So this first shotgun here is the sword explosion. I'm a little unsure what's going on with this gun. It seems to be changing its effects, and I'm not sure if that's to do with another piece of gear. It fires out swords that stick into my opponent and then stack up damage the more you get in a target. But I had this giant sword that was then exploding on everyone, which I don't seem to have that effect at the moment. I'm not sure why. I need to look into that, because I didn't think this was very good, and then I had a few times when I had this other effect seeming to happen, and it seemed to be tearing through people. It seemed very good, and now I've lost that ability. I'm a little unsure whether I like it or not. Money! Money! Okay, so we're looking to get this door open here to get to the boss. We have these 4 chains, we have to break these, and we've got 4 different kind of arenas that we need to go off to in the side with different things to do. We've got to get that done in order to progress forward. We're just going to go clockwise. So you've got a bit of an idea of what's going on. Whoop. With the sword explosion there. That is a shotgun you can farm and get from LeChance, who is in the Wogtooth Shallows, the end boss of that. LeChance being a reference to LeChuck from Monkey Island. Get this one moving. This one I think is the Merlins I've got running now. No, it's the Divergent, excuse me. So this is specifically from this DLC content, and this one is a dark magic shotgun. Pretty good fun. And this one on the reload, as with all Fiodor style guns, Fiodor in Wonderlands, has a reload effect that means you throw the gun off and you get this D12 that just goes on, knocks about a bit before exploding. Looking to collect these souls, the little purple tokens you can see that are on the floor when I clear an enemy. These relate to the ammo we're going to be able to... the loot we're going to be able to get at the end of this activity. 25 souls gives me a roll on a Wheel of Fortune style RNG rewards device, and you can pick what you want. No, you can't. That's the bunnies. You can't pick. It will pick one thing out of several, and I'll either get, you know, a bunch of guns or a bunch of armor or a bunch of rings or cosmetics or whatever. And the Divergent's doing pretty good damage, popping things pretty quick. The dice, I think, is pretty helpful, but I'd say it feels more gimmicky than genuinely useful. Quite good range on the dark magic bolts there. Oh, that is... I almost got booped off the map. These guys are cheeky, these goblin tricksters.
This mine is a lot like Fiodor's lifespan. A bridge.
The voice on my shield, which I think it is the shield. Can't 100% that because I'm making an educated guess. But the voice is really making me think of Zer from Invader Zim. sorry, Gur from Invader Zim, which I've been watching recently. Very, very funny cartoon from, I want to say the late 90s. Very cool, very funny. That's it's making me very happy. A Gur-style voice popping out Monkey Island-style quotes. Right, so we got a bit of a look at that. I'm going to probably do these room for room to an extent, but so this is the sorry, I didn't get a chance to actually read that. So this is the Rain of Arrows, and this one basically gives me this little area on the floor, which is my target area, and this works like a volley of arrows. Very effective in the past. I have enjoyed this one a lot. It looks like it has been changed. You used to have to look down a lot more, but they seem to have positioned the the kind of landing zone more logically, so that's good. I have been enjoying this recently. You do have to be a bit careful with this one, because if you do it too close, very easy to take yourself down, so you do have to watch out for that, and I assume that's part of the reason that targeting circle has been backed off quite a lot. You get a bit of a disadvantage with a target like this that is in the air. So we're going to switch to the other one I've got equipped, which is the Merlin, which I'm not 100% on, but I think the Merlin is potentially from this DLC, the DLC, sorry, the Mirrors stuff as well. I don't recall having this one before having done some DLC stuff. You can see that that fires out a damage bolt, but then does a horizontal line of damage which ricochets back to you, which is pretty cool. See how good that actually works. Just having a little look around. Just want to make sure we get as many of these soul tokens as we can to get a nice bit of booty. Oh, I've got a couple more over here. And one there as well. That'll do. I won't spend forever doing that. Missed loads. So we're up to 49 already. Nearly enough for 2 spins. I think the last time we did this activity, it was, I think we got 200. So that's the hope we want. Nice amount. So that we can try and get some decent loot back. It's nice to play around with the guns and gear in these games. That's what Gearbox games are very much about. That's why it's called Gearbox. It's not Gearbox like a car. The idea is that it's gear that you're picking up. Boxes, loot boxes.
There are turrets located all around this place.
Despite the fact that they have a cog on their logo. Apparently. So yeah, we like doing that anyway, but it's nice to have a goal, and part of that goal is that the Chaos Chamber, which is the main endgame activity for Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, has been kicking my butt a bit of late. I've been looking to get in there. There's some secret bosses you can activate, which are very cool. And I want to play the Chaos Chamber just to play the Chaos Chamber. I'm going to be looking at Chaos levels in there soon as well. But yeah, not feeling like I'm performing as I should.
That was wretched.
And so I felt that it was high time to start getting into some experimentation. A bit slow on the ads, this one. Don't feel like that's doing as much as I want to, because you've got that time of it going out and coming back. So I'll be interested to see how this performs on bosses. I don't think I've really done too many bosses and kept track of how this one works, but also because the projectiles are very slow travelling, you're actually getting situations there where some of them are moving out of the way before they're actually connected with the shot, despite the wide horizontal nature of the blast. But that's, you know, we want better results than that. So I will leave that one on for the moment. I'm going to ditch the Divergent. What else have we got? We've got the Hellion. I'll save that until we change the rooms. I'll stick with the volley. Just to give some idea with that. Probably not massively different in terms of the rate than the Merlins, but because it just continually drops arrows in that spot, if the, you can fire once and leave it, and that one shot will probably have solved your problem. Which to me is more valuable than having to stand there. Just quickly zip around. We've got 2 companions with us at the moment. We have this mushroom dude that's working very hard for me, and I've also got a Vern, which is my wyvern, flying around. So often when I'm off doing my little tasks and stuff, these guys are still bumping off enemies, so I just want to see if there's any extra tokens to pick up as we go. 63. I'm actually feeling like we're a bit low on the tokens this time, but we're not being really thorough on cleaning up everything, so there's probably a number of things that we're missing. Right, let's chuck the Hellion on. Can shoot a little target just next to those turrets that are firing out the little fireballs to turn them off, but I'm just being lazy.
So you should give up. Just being honest.
So we have to go to these plates and melt the chains in this room. So get that one down and we can get up the hill here. Puns and Crimishment is just a great quest title. I love it.
And melt the chains holding up that hook.
Okay, so that's a lot of projectiles, full auto, very fast, choppy kind of shotgun action, almost like an SMG of death. I mean, exaggerating Red Hellion of the Howling Skies. This is basically the Butcher from Borderlands 3. I believe we had a Butcher in Borderlands 2 as well. But definitely this just feels like the one from Borderlands 3 looks the part. And the Hellion, I think, ties that in as well, because it being called the Butcher, I believe, is a reference to the Butcher, which is a boss in Diablo 3. And so I guess this is still the same thing, making the same reference. I suppose I should use my ult eventually. Use melee to land a killing blow on 10 enemies in every room. Oh, is it just... Oh no, I didn't have a timer come up. The counter come off that first one. Maybe it's just because that first area didn't count properly as a room. Maybe I just got to things a little bit too prematurely there, and that's what's thrown it. Let's test, see if we get this bringing up a bit late now, but some of the effects you have attached to your character as well may mess that up. There you go, 3. So I wasn't wrong with what I was doing, it just wasn't properly in effect at that time. Now I won't be able to do it everywhere, but we'll try and do that. There you go. Burn, baby, burn. Gotta stop doing that. Saving this bit. Yeah, if you have an effect that attaches to your melee, because you have these quite intricate systems with the melee weapons in this game, which means that your standard melee has modifiers attached to it. Some of those I may miss out on a melee kill if, for example, I melee them and maybe it does a fire effect. The melee itself is finished, but then the fire may kill them afterwards and it may not count. I'd have thought that that's quite possible, and I think Vern actually just stole that one from me. Oh, are you kidding me? You're not going to let me be funny and jump in this lava? That makes me very sad. Come on, where's the fun in that? Oh, Vern, come on, you're killing me, man. The only downside to companions is that they can meddle in your plans.
Stand on that plate and
Yeah, I'll deal with that in a
take
minute.
care of the rest.
Let me just smoosh some stuff while there's enough targets around that my buddies aren't going to steal them all. That's my skeet. I have that on as a part of my build. That's basically when I drop low on my health, the sacrificial skeet is going to pop up, and basically it's just going to be running around in circles, but will be dropping, or rather emitting, dark energy health, which is then going to just allow me to get a bit of health back for a little while. Pretty handy. It can only happen once every 30 seconds. I just get too excited. Melees are too hard to... Whoopa! Maybe that popped up saying I'd done them all anyway. I didn't quite read it. I'm going to assume it's done. Kamikaze. Right, let's get this thing busted. Quite stable. I thought that was going to kick like a mule over that range, but that actually was very manageable, even on controller.
This will come in handy.
Well, that was looking like it was doing some okay damage until I fell over. Pretty nice, very satisfying kind of chug. The sort of the sound file and the cadence of the Hellion and the Butcher.
Just invest in a mask.
Is that metal melting, or is it just my heart? Oh, I love this.
What investor's heart?
Guide by all.
Gonna do a little change up just on the fly. We are gonna switch our alt over because I've been using that for a long time. Mix it up a little bit.
Celebrate now. I'll make you pay for this later.
Tag team action there. Nice. So there's normally 2 of these chests in every room, which is a specific activity to get an extra reward in some versions of this, but they tend to be there anyway, and they have extra soul tokens in them, so it's worth looking them out.
Look at my favorite chain. I can't even look at you right now.
Maybe those other quotes weren't to do with my shield. Maybe they were just to do with the bad guy that we're heading towards taunting us. So I will check on that, but I've not heard it sound like that was being thrown around again. I haven't heard that Monkey Island quote. That's an extra reward for doing the extra objective. next on the list we have... What else have we got? So I actually have 2 sword explosions, that being said. Do I? Maybe I put one into my vault when I was switching stuff around. Which it definitely looks like I did. Silly me. Oh no, the snowball one, that's it. So we'll pop that on. And I'll switch over to... I have a quest reward one here, which is a blue with red text, which is called The Last Rites. And that's always seemed to perform pretty well. So we will get that in on some action. This sword explosion works a little bit different to the other one I was running around with. So the other one had a single projectile, this one fires 3. And this is going to be an awkward thing for... Actually, the Merlins might come in really handy for this section. Because we have to smash these dark red crystals. And then we've got to go through the portal, and that is our objective here in this nice...
the power of these lost souls into something
I want to say glade, but that feels too much like a meadow in this... Then I was going to say El Dorado. That's not right either. What should we have here? We've got a little magical Wonderland. There we go. He said the game name. So yeah, as we clear these off in the different sectors of the map, it then starts shining rainbow power and tidies everything up. Works pretty good on that badass. I feel like the Merlins is doing some work, perhaps more situational than I would typically want. And flying towards me as well makes me a bit paranoid. I keep thinking they're going to take me down. Worked fine. Another advantage you get with this one, because it's the dark magic. I called that dark energy earlier, didn't I? Dark magic. You get health back, so all the damage we're doing is helping to just sustain us. With being a bit of a glass cannon player, I think that, you know, that's very handy to have something that is solid like this that you can pull out in a pinch just to help you with that survivability.
My henchmen will take care of you once and for all.
I'll put my camera speed back up again soon. Starting to feel like it's chugging me a bit. A little bit too slow. What's my full clip with this one? 7. So you're effectively able to get 14 hits off. It's pretty reasonable. Keep in mind this is a shotgun.
It's beautiful.
Oh yeah, that's right. More than that. See if we can clear this out. We're going to have to fight these wyverns with fisties. Land! Land next to me, you fools! Excellent. No, come back. That is one thing that I do wish this game had a bit more of. Some more mobility options. It's very common these days for games to have things like, you know, like an air dodge or a double jump. Those are probably the 2 best examples. This game doesn't have anything like that, really. It would have been nice to have that sort of interaction. There is a modded version for the game, which I can't remember the name of. No, can't remember the name. I'm not really into modded stuff. I do like to try and work within the stuff that's actually provided by developers. I know that puts pressure on them if there's modded stuff out there, but to me, it also has the vice versa effect that developers then feel, well, we don't need to do all these other bells and whistles and put loads of stuff in because someone else is just going to make it. Redux, that was what it's called, the Redux. So they obviously were similarly aware that it would have been nice to have those extra mobility options in the game because they bothered to include them in theirs. But I'm not saying for everyone. It definitely makes sense to have, and particularly in this sort of RPG, fantasy RPG setting, to have characters that are going to be more cumbersome, more tank-like, and then to have some characters that are going to be more nimble. There's definitely some build stuff I want to do, trying to play around with specifically melee build characters, and that probably will include in it trying to get, you know, as fast as possible to be able to move around and do that with a character, but you still lack the verticality, unfortunately, without a double jump or some sort of dash or something like that. Right, there was one here we haven't finished, or I've got distracted going off on a rant.
Beautifully executed. I can't wait to say that about Fiodor too. But first,
What's up, G?
a return portal.
I can't bother to try and punch you. Yes, I can. I can't remember what number I was at, but I feel like it can't be what I need. Well, I don't know what I did to upset Vern, but he's obviously very keen to stop me achieving anything I want to today. More tokens behind the teleporter there. Sorry, I might have been being a little bit quiet.
If you execute him as well as you did all those tasks, you'll have done it all.
Okay.
And I'll have a good laugh.
Well, I want to check this out on the last boss. This guy is gated. He is a quarter damage and then makes you run some little stuff. So, yeah. Oh darn! I meant to play around with the last rites on that bit, but okay. Let's start with the last rites in here, and we'll have each of those quarters to see how fast we can damage him. And see if we get any standout results there. No, back to myth rank. Oh wow, I've been picking up all the points. I'm just going to spam those through. Slide. Quite like the little slide that they've kind of got in the game. There's different bits of the game where it forces you into a slide for one thing or other, and just kind of fun, taking advantage of the fact that they've bothered to put the slide in the game. So Fiodor is an inventor of sorts. All these crazy contraptions that he's building, and this big armor suit. Oh wow! Last right's doing some pretty decent damage there, and now we have to run these little gauntlets. Ooh, try and get through. Oh man, what was that that pushed me? I mean, I think those guys are a bit of a Mario reference. I think we touched on this last time. Just the bullet
Going to take weeks to get the smell
bullet with a sort of shark-style face just charging you. Okay, let's do this round with the Hellion. Probably similar damage to the last rites there, but it's probably less damage on each shot, but you're shooting out about twice as many in the same time frame. So not sure if that's any different. See how it goes when Fiodor jumps down.
Go for the eyes.
Okay. I think that That probably was faster. However, you had a longer gap for the reload, so... Look at these guys. They're crazy. Feels very... the animation on the arms and legs feels very Beavis and Butthead. Yeah, get back up there. Right, try this round with my frost sword explosion. That's probably performing better than either of the others. I feel like I'm over damaging with that clip. Let's see how it does on Fiodor. Pretty similar again. That reload time is just pretty damaging. Nice bit on the side here. I can basically just avoid most of the issues. Interesting. Get a bit of health while we're here. Delicious. And we'll do the Merlin for the last one. Yeah, definitely a lot slower taking down these single targets. But because it's more, like it's slower, more consistent damage, we're sort of pretty much one-popping those with something like the sword explosion, but when we got to the boss, because we cleared the clip out and then had to do the big reload, I think maybe this isn't going to be that bad. And I'm completely wrong. That actually was probably the worst performing of all of those four. Sorry, I'm sort of getting a bit quiet. Slip and stun.
Is fantastic.
Slide speed is increased 50%. Handling leaves a line trail, and that's on a necklace. I mean, I do love the old slide. I haven't seen too many of those in this game as well. Absolutely love things like the toboggan in Borderlands 3. And there was another one as well. Snowdrift. I think that was my favourite. Snowdrift. Very, very cool. Love the mobility in that. This feels a little bit more clunky, but... Okay, well, we got a look at a bunch of different shotguns there. Just a bit of a rough look. That's given me a bit more idea of what each of those is doing. All seem very reasonable. All seem, you know, good fun to use. They have their own different effects, and it's more down to your personal preferences. I'll have to do further testing and playing around to see, you know, what else I can get out of those. But for now, that's the end of our second run through on the Molten Mirrors Tier 2. Well, our first run through on the second. You understand. We're just going to go and get some loot. We were just short there of getting 6 spins. But we will see what we get. Still got to be some bits of gear in here that I've not got yet, which are exclusive to the DLC. Scarlet's Claw.
That was someone's dream and you're going to sell it? I thought you were a
That's
warrior,
interesting.
not a
So that basically means all of my companions are going to be feeding me health for all of their actions. That's pretty good. That might be something that's going to go into a build.
A weapon. Though with
Oil
some
and Spice. That's an SMG we've seen
imagination,
before.
it's a weapon.
Not particularly interesting, but I will just fire that for anyone who hasn't seen when we've picked that up before. It has 2 fire modes, Oil and Spice. The idea is that you select the gun you're actually talking about. The idea is that you put the oil around and then spice it up, baby, and then that's going to do some nice AoE damage while they're standing in it. Okay, mainly just general stuff at the moment. Oh wow, we got through that quick. Got through that real quick. Cool. Okay, well, we've got some more loot. Go and make myself some more monies. I've still got slots to open up on my character. I've been a bit lax with that, unfortunately. Not picking up everything I need to when I need to. But that's it for Tier 2 version of the third activity, the Molten Mirrors. And we'll be moving on to the Shattering Spectre Glass next. But thank you very much for joining me for this continued look at the Tiny Tina's Wonderlands Season Pass DLC content. I will be making a lot more videos to do with Wonderlands, doing all sorts of Borderlands, playing through a number of the games at the moment at the same time. Not physically at the same time, but you get the idea. So working through Borderlands 1, 2, 3, Wonderlands, Tale from the Borderlands, adding some other Borderlands games in the mix. So if you do like this kind of content, please do stick around, please do support me in all the standard YouTube ways, and I will catch you next time, Vault Hunters. Hope you have a great day, all the best, peace out.